Good afternoon, parents. I am so sorry that I cannot be there to meet you in person as I've had a death in the family, but I wanted to leave you a video and just give you an overview of what you can expect for your child's math class this year. I am Mrs. Ray and I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade GT as well as Algebra 1 honors. My email, as you can see on the screen, is rray@neisd.net. So please feel free to email me if you have any questions. I'm going to go over all of the classes, so I know it doesn't pertain to all of you, but this was the easiest way I could figure to catch all of the information at once. Some topics that we will cover in 6th grade GT math this year: integer operations and graphing, which is going to be huge, going all the way through the high school math, operational fluency, proportional reasoning, multiple representations, and algebra to include the beginning of solving equations and inequalities, which will again go all the way through high school math. Geometry, we're going to do some statistics, as well as some personal financial literacy. So we're going to be encompassing all of the 6th grade topics, as well as some of the 7th grade topics that piggyback on what we are doing in 6th grade. For example, 6th grade learns only one-step equations, but we will progress to two-step equations as well, because that is the 7th grade vertical component. There will be some projects along the way, so keep your eyes out for Remind and ask your kids what's going on in class. 7th grade, we will cover the rest of the 7th grade topics we did not hit in 6th grade, as well as all of the 8th grade topics. 7th grade GT math will take 8th grade STAAR at the end of the year. We are currently in the middle of our proportional, non-proportional function unit. Then we'll go to bivariate data. We'll elaborate on what they learned in 6th grade as far as equations and inequalities. We'll do some transformations in geometry. We'll talk about the different classification of numbers, Pythagorean theorem, circles, surface area, and volume, which is going to again take them into the high school geometry component. They will use those skills and then elaborate with the high school. And then personal financial literacy. And this group will also have a couple of projects along the way, especially when we get into circles, surface area, and volume. So 8th grade GT, algebra, and honors algebra, they're going to cover the same topics. We are just finishing up our solving equations and inequalities unit. We're going to go into rate of change and linear concepts. Then we will elaborate on what they learned in 6th and 7th grade as far as one variable equations. We're going to throw two in there. So we're going to look at them linear. Then we're also going to look at systems. We'll also look at exponential and quadratic functions, as well as polynomials. This class for the 8th graders and the 7th grade ham kids is a high school level course. So they are currently, if they are an 8th grader, they're one level above where their current peers are. And if they are a ham student, then they are 2 levels above. At the end of the year, this group of kids will take the high school end of course exam, which is one of their 5 end of course credits they need for graduation. This grade will not impact their GPA in high school, but it will show up on their high school transcript. Google Classroom, every student of mine is on Google Classroom. I often post PDFs of our assignment in case they lose them, in case they're absent, they still have access. I do update Skyward a minimum of once a week. I try to do it more than that. Sometimes time constraints hinder me there, but I try very hard to update it every 3-4 days, if not more often. Tests are 40% in my class. We will have a minimum of 2 every quarter. Quizzes are 30%. Daily work and homework is 25%. And then you will also see a category 1, which is going to be video notes that they are responsible for. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. So I try to use the flipped classroom model about 75% of the time in my classroom, which means that what would traditionally be homework at home is done in class, and their homework is traditionally going to be, not every night, but a good chunk of the time, video notes, where I've recorded a video like I'm doing now. They're watching, they're taking the beginning notes for whatever topic we're going to cover. And they come to class the next day, we discuss those notes, we go a little bit deeper, we do some more examples to make sure everybody's on the same page. And then what they would traditionally take home, they're doing in class, and they're paused, they're talking. That gives me a chance to walk around and talk to every kid, check on them, make sure that they're understanding the material. If they're not, then I stop, I work with them. We make sure that all of our questions are answered so that they can be successful moving forward. Again, 6th grade GT is going to take 6th grade STAAR this year, 7th grade GT to include those 7th grade, the kids that are in 7th grade GT for HAM will take 8th grade STAAR, and then 8th grade GT and honors algebra, including those HAM students in 8th grade GT will take the EOC. Remind 101, I sent out an email, and unfortunately the 8th grade one, I accidentally attached the 7th grade remind. If you signed up, which was awesome, parents, thank you for responding to that email. And you were actually in 8th grade, I moved you, so no worries there. I would love, love, love if you are not on remind for you to, in the text message to the phone number 81010, and depending on what course your student is in, send me this message. And what I do is I will send a remind message for tests and for quizzes. I don't do it for homework because that would be a remind every day, and I don't want to inundate you. But you can also communicate with me via remind. I thank you so much for coming in. Again, I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person to meet with you. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email or contact me via remind. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great evening.